Welcome to the Rouxgaroux Live podcast with Curt and Brian. And I'm Curt Schweiger, and welcome my co-host Brian Mathern. And
Hey,
we,
hey, Curt.
we
Thank you for having me.
Hey, Brian, man, this is going to be a really good episode because we're going all the way back to the Beaumont Renegades game with the Rouxgaroux, 55-54, my friend, and we both watched that game. What are you thinking?
Yeah. I was there on the sidelines with the team, and it was a heartbreaker, that's for sure.
I know. I mean, I sat there and watched it, especially the one play that you and I were talking about. The one play where I can't remember what the receiver's name was, but it looked like he was down. Didn't look like a fumble, and it looked like it was an incomplete pass. And it totally turned the whole game around. And I don't know, 55-54. I think that play right there should have been checked into a little bit more thoroughly. What do you think?
I agree. And of course, the final play was a dirty, cheap shot on our quarterback, Serrano, that broke his arm. And of course, he didn't play this past Saturday because of it.
Yeah, that was just a totally dirty shot right there. I thought. I mean, it wasn't clean. It was a dirty play, and I didn't like it when the only thing I didn't like. I like the Wheeling Miners. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying anything bad about them, but I thought the coach, when he was on the field a little bit too much during the game with the Rouxgaroux and Wheeling Miners. He was right out and almost in the middle of the field. And if it was me, I would have said, get the hell off this field. He was right in the middle of it. I didn't care for that. I thought that was pretty strange.
You mean Beaumont Renegades? You keep saying the Wheeling Miners. That was Beaumont.
Well, the Beaumont there, that was a game that I thought Shreveport won. I did. I thought they won it, and it was all because of two plays that you and I talked about. And I think if them plays didn't happen, Rouxgaroux would have been 3-3 or 4-3.
3-3. The league hasn't awarded the forfeit win over Carolina yet, so technically, if you look at the league standings, we're 2-4 right now. If we would have won that game, we would be 3-3 right now.
Yeah, it totally changes the whole outcome of a team, and especially expansion team. They're new.
They were in it the whole game. I mean, it was back and forth. A matter of a couple of points to 8 points to a couple of points, and back and forth. We didn't have a kicker, so of course we had to go for a 2-point conversion after every touchdown. We got some of them tied up the game. They'd come back. They'd take the lead. We take the lead. It would go back and forth, but it was just a heartbreaker. Guys were frustrated. They were throwing chairs on the sidelines, taking their helmet, beating them up against the wall after the game. Owner Richard was just sitting there like in awe for a good 30-40 minutes after the game. Just couldn't believe what he had witnessed. It was just heartbreaker all over.
Yeah, it was. I don't know how many minutes or seconds was left of the game when that last play was done, and I thought,
there wasn't any time because rewind it back to 2 seconds we had when they scored that fluke of a touchdown where the guy bounced off the wall, went into the end zone, and then they reviewed it, and the inadvertent whistle wasn't called. So they gave him the touchdown, gave us the ball with 2 seconds left. They kicked it off out of bounds at the 5-yard line, and we threw up a Hail Mary, but there was a defensive flag, which gave us one more untimed down. So literally that last play was no time on the clock.
You're talking about that one play there. I think there was like 1 second left, and the receiver caught the ball, but it looked like he hit he was out of bounds to me
Yeah,
before he went
the
in.
yeah, that's the Beaumont receiver. Yeah, he bounced off the wall at the 6-yard line, and our two players were just standing there instead of tagging him or pushing him out of bounds. And with 2 seconds, well, by that time he hit the wall, it was like 3 or 4 seconds. By the time he bounced off the wall, realized that he hadn't been touched and it was still alive. He ran into the end zone. By the time he broke the plane, it was 2 seconds left on the clock, and that's when the clock stops. And then, of course, they kick the extra point, go up by 1, and then they still had to kick off to us since we had 2 seconds left.
It looked like he was out. I mean, he hit that wall.
Yeah, he ran. He caught the ball inbounds, hit the wall voluntarily, and our two players are both standing there, one at the goal line, one literally like at the 8 or 9 yard line, close enough to actually tag him, and neither one, even laid a hand on him. So they assumed that when he ran out of bounds, that it was over with. Well, there was a whistle. When you go back and watch the replay, there was a whistle that was blown, and the referees ruled it an inadvertent whistle and still awarded the touchdown.
I didn't think it was a touchdown. Like I said, I thought he hit the wall, and I thought that they would blow the whistle, and that's where he would have it is on the 1 yard line, maybe.
That was the 6 at the 6.
Yeah. And I thought he hit the wall, and that was it. That's where I thought they were going to get it, is at the 1. And I didn't think he bounced off the wall and it went into the end zone, got a touchdown. That's where I was really bumming on that one, because I was saying, what the heck is this about? It wasn't right.
Even if they would have awarded it to Beaumont, who's to say that they wouldn't have powered it in, from the 6 yard line and gotten the touchdown and won it anyway with no time left? We would have never gotten our hands on the ball after that, Would have been a walk-off win.
That was just one play that got me. But how about that play where the receiver caught the ball? He caught it, but they were fighting and hitting, and all of a sudden they called it a fumble, which I thought, the way it was caught and the way the receiver hit the ground, I thought it was a total incomplete pass at that point.
In my opinion, yeah, it was an incomplete pass because he didn't have full possession of it. But of course, they reviewed it and saw otherwise,
Yeah, I just thought it was incomplete pass. There was another play there, but I can't remember the other play. But them 2 or 3 plays right there switched it over, and it went from 54, 55, 54, which that's 1 point, man. The Rouxgaroux lost by 1 point.
You score 54 points in the NAL game and you lose the game. It was a heartbreaker for the guys.
Man, and I tell you, there was a lot of good plays in that, and I don't know. Serrano was good. And I'm getting a phone call in the middle of this, so I'm just shutting that right off. I have had one hell of the last 2 weeks, Brian. I'm telling you right now. But you know what? I was going to say to myself, I am going to do this podcast. I love this podcast. And no matter what happens, I'm going to go through it, and we're going to do it. And that's it. And so that's the way it was. But last Mother's Day was, that was crazy, man. I think I had 100 kids here. But when we're looking back on the Beaumont game, I do have this little highlight here.
Has improved the offense thus far. Guillermo's going deep, and just like that, he finds his receiver for a touchdown. Here comes Shreveport. They score on the opening drive on the kickoff, and just like the touchdown. Watch this replay here as Guillermo sends his guys in motion, and look at the blocking up front. Enough time for Guillermo to find Cameron wide open in the man-to-man defense to fall in the end zone for the touchdown. Shreveport Rouxgaroux are here to play, and they're off to a hot start.
That was a good play right there. I might have to take a something and put a cover over this damn phone. But anyway, here these guys are. You know, that's Richard Rogers and Keith Carter. I don't know who the other guys are, but at the Beaumont game, when you were at the Beaumont game, entering the
Yeah, so that's Ford Arena in Beaumont. There's about 3 different buildings that are part of the Doggett Ford facility out there. You got the arena, the pavilion, and a hall. I think in the hall they had a dog show. In the pavilion they had a baseball game going on, and then of course we were in the arena.
All right, Brian, and we got this guy here. Let's listen to this guy.
I feel like I got slapped in the face, man. I respect the Shreveport Rouxgaroux a lot, man, but it's obvious that they don't respect us too much. You know, we played y'all once. You think you guys gonna slap us around? That's okay. We're gonna be down there Saturday ready to slap y'all back. Just to let y'all know, hey, and that's a guarantee. Hey, if you missing the game, you might want to be at the game. You might want to be at the game because, hey, it ain't gonna be the same story twice. We slap back here in Dallas.
Now who was that guy, Brian?
So that's Tyrone Washington. He's the player / owner of the Dallas Falcons, the team that we are playing this Saturday in Shreveport as a makeup game for the Carolina Cobras going dormant for the rest of the year. So earlier today there was a press conference at 12 o'clock, I think it was, and they had a couple of players, and then they had Coach Russ addressing members of the media, and he put out a challenge saying that a win is guaranteed Saturday night, and if you bought your tickets between now and I think it's Friday, the guarantee is if they win, if they lose, then you get free tickets to the final game, which is the rematch against Beaumont in Shreveport. And otherwise, you know, if they win, then they fulfill their guarantee that they are going to win. So that was Tyrone Washington's response to Coach Russ's press conference earlier today.
They guarantee a win?
Yep.
Now,
mind you, this is the same Dallas Falcons. This is the same Dallas Falcons that we played in preseason.
Of course, we don't have that preseason game to go look back on because they kicked their butt.
No. Right. It was still something like 55-12 or something close to that.
And we kicked their butt.
Let's see. Yeah, the Dallas Falcons are actually a semi-pro team, and they filled in for the team I was working for last year, the Louisiana Voodoo. They came down and we played them for our one game last year, and then the Shreveport Rouxgaroux played them in the preseason game this year.
Yeah, you know what though? I still say for the first season of the Shreveport Rouxgaroux, I think being an expansion team and being the first year for this team, them guys are doing pretty good. Them guys are doing pretty good. I wish
Yeah.
that phone would quit ringing. It's driving me crazy.
So somebody's trying to get a hold of you.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, we beat Dallas 55-24 back on February 21st.
That was a good game. I loved it.
And then I want to say the week later was when the Minneapolis team beat the Omaha Beef in their preseason game, the upset of the year. So because the Minneapolis team was another one of those semi-pro teams, and they actually beat them by a couple of points in their preseason game.
And you know, I always like to look back on a past game, like when the Rouxgaroux beat the Dallas Falcons. The preseason game. I mean, you can look back and you can see just what they're doing, and then the second game, you know, and you can start looking back. And when I can't see any, I mean, especially the Miners game, and I can't get off the Miners game because you were down there when they played the Wheeling Miners, and they defeated them, and we were actually talking about it. We weren't bragging about it, but even Heather said, she goes, "Wait till next year," and then she says, "Well, we hope Shreveport beats the Wheeling Miners. We don't want to see the Wheeling Miners go 0-3." And we were talking about that, and sure enough, the Wheeling Miners went 0-3.
Right. Yeah, it was just
Brian. It's documented. It's right there.
Right.
Wheeling
and
Miners
of course
went 0-3.
They have rebound though. I mean, since then they have won a couple of them. Yeah, it was okay. So it was March 2nd. It was the Minneapolis Warriors, which is a semi-pro team, preseason against the Omaha Beef at the Beef, and they lost 24-23.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I ain't got nothing bad to say about the Omaha Beef, but I'll tell you right now, in that game when the Shreveport played the Omaha Beef, I didn't really care for it. I thought there was a few plays there that I didn't like, but like I said, Shreveport could have beat them too.
Yeah. Well, we got after Dallas, we have them as the next away game, May 24th at Omaha Beef, 6:30 Central Time kickoff, Liberty First Credit Union Arena, which is their arena. And then the game after that will be the Beaumont rematch at Georgia's Pond in Shreveport.
The NAL standings week 10. We are in week 10 right now, right, Brian?
Yes, this is updated as of yesterday. Now, the only thing that's different is those records in red.
Yeah.
A lot of those forfeits that are asterisked down at the bottom have not been awarded. So, like the forfeit over Carolina victory, technically has not been awarded to us. So we're technically 2-4 right now.
We're not 3-4. We're 2-4.
Technically, but from what Coach Russ said in today's press conference, he did state that the league will be awarding the forfeit for that game. I guess because they can't make it up. They got games every week between now and the end of the season. So it's just a matter of time before the league awards those forfeits. I think they're trying to see if they could squeeze in another game to make up for it, because you got season ticket holders that purchase so many home game tickets. And we played Carolina, or we were scheduled to play Carolina twice. And for that fan fest that we had a couple of weeks ago. And then for this Saturday's game, they were able to reschedule Dallas for this game. but they haven't been able to make up that game, from 3 weeks ago that was against Carolina. So eventually forfeit.
So the other teams are in red, like Omaha Beef, 6-1. So they have so they're not really 6-1, right?
They would be 5-1 because they have they have a win over. It says down at the bottom they have a win over Dallas also, but I'm assuming that somewhere in that 6-1 they have a Carolina game coming up that was scheduled also.
All right, I'm getting it. And it's the same thing, right? Right.
There you go. Yeah. You got the league one?
I think I do, but you know what? It's been one hell of a time trying to pull this stuff up, Brian. I'm telling you. But I'm getting there. One thing I do have to do is I got to upgrade, but it's going to cost me like $50 to upgrade so we can do more. I can just go right from here. You know how the big guys do it? They go right from here and they go right to their Facebook channel, and they can go right up with the graphics and all that.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if I can get somebody to join us on the show right now. I just sent them a message.
I actually sent the link to Tyrone Laughing House because I wanted to see if he would come up with us, but
okay.
I don't know if he got it, or I don't know if he answered back or anything like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was trying to get Tyrone Washington, and he said he can't join us, unfortunately. So,
well, that's fine. Brian, check this out. Look at.
Okay.
Got a little bit of an unboxing.
Welcome back to the T.S.D.N. Network, and I'm Curt Schweiger. And just something came in the mail today that I'm really excited about. I'm going to open this up right now. It's the Shreveport Rouxgaroux Media Guide, written by my buddy Brian Mathern of the Rouxgaroux Live Podcast. Just got that in the mail today. Awesome, guys. It's got all the information in there. There's the commissioner. Everything about the Rouxgaroux and the stadium, fan club. Loaded with information on the Rouxgaroux, guys. I just got it in the mail today, and it's awesome. It's live on Amazon right now. You guys can get a copy of that. Make sure you do. I'm Giude for what's in that. Make sure you catch Brian and Mom Eastern. We'll see you there.
That's not even funny. What was going on with that?
I don't know. The video kind of broke up there at the end.
That's nuts. The heck? All right, let's play a couple of videos, and then we'll get back in conversation. If we'll
All right.
Well, I figured we'd show a little bit of that. So, I don't know, Brian. What are you thinking?
We haven't talked about the next game, the Columbus Lions loss.
The Columbus Lions. Oh, yes.
Yeah. So we started a new quarterback, and of course we traded for Hollins from Omaha for future considerations, and of course, like Coach said today in the press conference, he only had so many days with the team, not enough time to gel with them, so that's going to come with time. But he did say something that was interesting, that Serrano might be available for the next game.
Yeah, that sounds cool. I think that would be awesome. I mean,
I guess he would have a cast on his arm. I don't know exactly what part of his arm broke, but I'm assuming it's his non-throwing arm that broke, if he would be able to play. Otherwise, I was assuming he was going to be out for the rest of the season.
yes, absolutely. He looked pretty big. I think it was his left arm.
Yeah.
It wasn't his throwing arm.
I would think so, because of the direction that he was, tackled into the wall. The player would have been on his left side as he was throwing the Hail Mary down the field. So I'm assuming that the right arm would have been up against the padding. The left arm would have taken the impact of probably the helmet.
Yeah, and he's a hell of a quarterback. I have to say that about Serrano. I've been watching him. He's a good quarterback.
And of course, just throwing the new guy Josh Hollins into the mix that late, in the season. Of course, we're trading people left and right. The coach change, and then players change, and cutting and signing, guys almost every week. It's almost practically a new team every week now.
Yeah, and what's going on with the coaching of the Rouxgaroux? I mean, is Kevin or Keith going to be coaching and offensive coach and this and that, or they're going to hire a new coach?
The Columbus Lions broadcast team, if you were watching the game Saturday night, they still mentioned Jermaine Hampton as the head coach of the Shreveport Rouxgaroux, until I called them out in their the Georgia Alabama broadcast network, in their chat, and I was like, Hampton's not our head coach. He hasn't been for 2 weeks actually. With the Beaumont game, that was Keith Russ. He took over all 3 titles. He's now the head coach / offensive coordinator / defensive coordinator, and so Keith will be the head coach for the rest of the year.
Wow, man, that's pretty good for owner to / coach. You know what I mean? That's pretty cool.
And you got Coach Blair and Coach T. Will is the 2 assistants with him. So
sounds cool, man. Well, so what are you thinking about this game this weekend?
I don't know. You give or take 25, 30 points.
They're playing in Shreveport, though, right?
Right. Yeah, it's easily a win by 25, 30 points. I don't want to tick off Tyrone Washington, but it is what it is. I mean,
are you sure it's not going to be 100 to 6 or something?
No, I'm pretty sure they're not going to run it up on them like Albany did.
I bet you they will, though, a little bit, just to prove a point.
Yeah. I mean, I was watching that game. That it wasn't pretty, but they did that. They did that on Albany. Did that on purpose, and
I know.
even Billings got some of that action too last week when they ran up the score to 70. So,
I hate that when they do that. I mean, I know they love the. I know, but I hate that when you do that.
well,
But
when you get all walk on scabs for Corpus Christi and and then you go all the way up to Albany and they're like, well, that's your problem. We're just gonna win by however many we can win by, and set the record. That's what they did.
yeah, oh, that's awful. That's awful.
Yeah.
But it happens. But I'm telling you. So, what are you thinking about this weekend with the Shreveport in Shreveport, Louisiana?
Like I said, I think the guarantee is gonna get some press, get some media going. I think Keith did that, to get some more people in the stands that wouldn't normally come out to the game, get some interest in it, And hey, if they do somehow lose, well, it's coming out of coach's pocket that he's gonna buy everybody's ticket, for the Beaumont game on the 31st.
I don't know. I still can't get over that Beaumont game, but I guess I got to. But there's always next year, like Heather said.
Yeah.
Wait till next year, Heather
Right.
said.
Yeah, I mean, it is an expansion year. We'll get this win, and then that'll put us at 3-4. Then we have Omaha, which is going to be a very tough win, But we do have Hollins that just came from there, so hopefully he brought his playbook from there with him, or at least in his mind. And then, of course, I think everybody. I hate to say it, but I think everybody on the team's looking forward to that May 31st one. So they might be overlooking the Omaha beef game, in the middle of that, because they got this one sewed up, and then they might be overlooking the beef to get the revenge on the Renegades,
Yep, that's what I'm thinking. Well, I love the team, but I think that there is a couple of wins there that are questionable for Shreveport. But like Heather said, when you were down live with the Miners game, and
Yeah.
Heather we were all talking, it would be a shame for the Miners to go 0-3. I loved it. I was eating it up. You know what I mean? And that's one of those games.
They were the champions of their league last year, the AAL too, and we beat them. But of course, we lost to Omaha, which was the champions of the NAL last year. So,
I was eating it up. You were live at the game, and you bumped into Heather, and we were talking, and all of a sudden, the Shreveport Rouxgaroux defeated the Wheeling Miners. And we were saying it would be awful shame if the Wheeling Miners went 0-3. And they went 0-3. I loved it.
And what's their record right now? 2-5?
I'm not sure what their record is right now. I think it's 2-5.
You had that graphic. You had the graphic up a little while ago. I think the 2-5.
Yeah, I think they're 2-5.
What that graphic said.
I think so.
Yeah, 2-5.
2-5. Yeah.
One game below us. Now you see what's unique about that graphic. That's actually the league standings.
Yeah.
Carolina in third place is dormant.
Yeah. Now they're dormant. We won't see nothing from Carolina until they either wake up next year or.
So why does the league even bother having them on the standings? It doesn't make any sense.
I don't know why have them there. That don't make sense. And Beaumont,
at least we're only one game out of second place because the top two go to the playoffs. So we're still competing with Columbus for that second place position because by this time nobody's going to catch Beaumont. They're already locked in to the playoffs.
Yeah, they're pretty much locked into the whole playoff deal, and in the Omaha beef, of course. and then you got the Colorado Spartans. So I don't know, but
Well, luckily we're only competing against Columbus and Wheeling because it's divisional, top two in each division. So, but we need the
right,
wins. Need that
right,
Dallas win. We need that Omaha win. You know, and a win
right,
over Beaumont would be nice at the end of the year. If we win out, we should safely be in second place. But then, of course, who would play that first week in the playoffs? Beaumont.
right. Yep, Beaumont. Beaumont. Can't get rid of those guys, can we?
Yeah. So we play them May 31st at the Wolf Den, and then a week later we would have to play them again in Beaumont.
Yep. But as far as I'm so glad I got this, Brian. Can I get it up there? Can't get it up there, so it goes
Yeah,
off.
your background is taking the book out of the picture. I just show, I just put up mine. There you go.
It's cool. Say along. My cat's fighting with another cat out. Can we ever get a podcast without something going on?
Of course not.
So you just got to work through it,
Yeah.
But say along. Stop yelling at that cat. She's seeing something out the window, and she's just a bitching. But anyway, I'm so glad we got this podcast in. Anyway, Brian, I love this podcast. I love you, man, and I love the Rouxgaroux. So hopefully we keep right on rolling with this. I think like this year the Rouxgaroux, they're 2-3, right?
Right.
So and this is their first season. So can you imagine next year how good they're going to be?
Yeah, as long as we get a kicker and we got we
long
take
as
care
we
of
get a
our
kicker.
quarterback. Yeah. Because without a kicker, we've left points out on the field, and
Yeah, for the first 2 or 3 games.
That actually is what cost us the Beaumont game. We didn't have a kicker. You
Yep.
realize all those extra points that we could have just kicked and gotten, and
Yeah.
we would have been up. We would have been up by several of those points, and it wouldn't have come down to a 1-point game at the very end, So I mean, having a kicker is crucial,
Yeah.
But for some reason, they haven't been able to find a decent one.
I have no idea. Why can't they find a really good kicker?
I don't know. They got the guy from Alabama, and he missed first 2 in one game and first 2 in the next game, so he got cut.
It's very strange. All right, Brian, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play our trailer.
Yeah. All right.
I'm going to play our trailer. All right, my friend. I think that's a podcast.
Right. It was fun.
I loved it. I got to drain my water. I got to take a leak. But anyway, I'll be watching Saturday with the Rouxgaroux, man. Definitely. And we got to do an episode Saturday. So we'll get on that. And I love you, man. I'm going to shut down.
Pre-game.
And as I go, I'm going to add this to the stage. Love you, man. Till Saturday, my brother.